G'day Australia, it's me again. Um, just a, this is just going to be very, very quick and to the point. It seems that there are a lot of people out there who are hell-bent on detracting from what uh, some of us are trying to do to question, um, to lawfully question our career politicians and their unlawful political parties. Two things. First thing is their political parties all have ABNs. They are, in fact, contracted to our Commonwealth of Australia. So that means that they receive a financial advantage from the Commonwealth of Australia, which means that they cannot be they are unlawful, because any entity that receives a government a Commonwealth of Australia financial gain cannot be in our parliament. Now, political parties are just that. Now, that might be a wishy-washy explanation, but it's all in Section 44 of our Lawful Constitution. I suggest everyone have a look at it. Second thing is that the government and our career politicians, whether they like it or not, they have a constitutional obligation to Australia to only do what is in the best interests of Australia above all others. That's written in our constitution. Now, my words might be a little bit different to what's written in our lawful constitution, but the essence of what I just said is true. They govern at our will in our best interests above all others. Well, that's what they're supposed to do. They're not doing that. Now, I was really, really annoyed this morning when I listened to Jackie Lambie in the Senate talking about democracy and how our government is not adhering to and practicing democracy in Australia. What a bloody hypocrite! I mean, I don't give two shits who they are, but she has no right to stand there after being kicked out of the parliament for being a dual citizen, knowingly being a dual citizen, and then had the debt of the money that was paid unlawfully waived by these very politicians and political parties that she is now wailing against. That debt was forgiven, and she was allowed to be re-elected without being charged and tried for treason, because she sat in our parliament and had an influence over decisions made in our parliament while she was unlawfully there. So that's one thing. Second thing is Malcolm Roberts. Look, you know what? I'm going to get hailed down for this, but Malcolm, seriously, you're calling the Prime Minister out for suggesting that we will not be held to ransom or dictated to by unlawful entities. I mean, he was referring to the UN. Mate, you are a member of an unlawful political party. You are also a foreign entity. You shouldn't be there either. So please don't embarrass yourself and insult us, the Australian people, and you too, Jackie Lambie, by proposing or getting all upset about things that you think you don't like, because you're there unlawfully anyway. So, you know, let's get serious here, people. We need desperately to unite, and we need to stage a lawful rebellion. Now, a lot of people are hailing me down saying if you're a rebel, you're illegal and all this sort of stuff. The spirit of Article 61 of the Magna Carta, which is lawful rebellion, is not it's not a criminal action. It's a lawful action. It's a common law right. It's an unalienable right. Inalienable. There's two. You can spell it two ways. Who knew? It's also our constitutional right to question the people that we elect to govern at our will. So, I maybe Lee, maybe she did put her foot in her mouth, but the thing is that she's done it many, many times, and, it's got to stop. So we have a lawful constitutional right to question the people that we elect to govern at our will for our benefit. I'm sick of taking questions, or sorry, not sick of taking questions. That's not quite right. I am tired from taking questions from people who are 50 and over, and some in their late 60s and early 70s that have been put on to New Start at $40 a day. They cannot survive. Our pensioners, our aged pensioners who built this frigging country, and trust me, the people who I'm speaking to that have been shoved onto New Start are also have paid their taxes for 30, 40, 50 years, and they've been pushed onto New Start at $40 a day. They cannot survive on that. And this is why we need to stage our lawful rebellion, because I'm an Aussie, very proud, fifth generation, probably even sixth, still looking into it. And you know what? I have no problems whatsoever in giving people a helping hand. Our aged, our veterans, God, our farmers, for God's sake, and the people who are genuinely unemployed through no fault of their own. Now, there's a new statistic that's come out. Men between the age of 50 and 65 are unemployable. Why are they unemployable? Because the employers don't want them, because because we know things. We know. I'm in that age group. We know stuff. We know shit. Yeah. And so employers don't want people like that. They want people who just front up to work, ask questions, and just do their job. Well, we can't do that. It's not in our DNA. We have to offer suggestions and things like that. That's why we're unemployable. Not because we've got nothing to offer, but we've got too much to offer. It's like all of these uni graduates running around now saying, "Oh God, I wish we had gone to TAFE because now we've got a degree and we can't get a job, or we can get a job but we can't get enough. We're not getting enough money." You know what? It's because they did degrees in, I don't know, arts or something. They've done the easiest degrees, the cruisy degrees. All right, okay, they've paid for it, but that's their own stupid fault. And those jobs just don't exist. They didn't do computer sciences, they didn't do economics, they didn't do finance or business management or anything like that that requires lots of people with degrees. No. They did all the easy, cushy courses. Now, I'm being very general, and I apologise to all those uni graduates out there that did the hard courses and can't get a job. I feel for you, I really do. But there's a lot more people out there that are in more desperate trouble than you are, because you're probably still living at home with your parents, or you're sharing or whatever, and you don't have the financial burden of a mortgage and maybe paying off a car and trying to put your kids, still got kids at school, trying to put them through school and help them go into tertiary education, or TAFE or whatever, or because they're now on New Start, and at $40 a day, they can't even afford to feed themselves, let alone look after their family. So this is just one thing. And of course, I could talk all day about the amount of money which is in the welfare pile that ScoMo loves to talk about, that is feeding and clothing so-called refugees, which we like to tag as country shoppers, who after 5 years in Australia, 90% of them are still on the dole. Why aren't we picking on them instead of picking on Aussies who are supposedly alcohol-affected, drug addict dole bludgers? And the amount of those people on New Start now is minimal. The majority of people on New Start now are not Aussies. So there you go. And there's over 200,000 50 and over Aussies that have paid their frigging taxes 30, 40 years, who have been forced on New Start because of closures, because countries are taking their labour offshore because it's cheaper for them. And they're screwing basically Australia, and the government's just sitting there, with their arms folded, saying, "Well, we're not giving them any more money on New Start; they can starve." It's the same as our aged. It's the same as our aged pensioners, our veterans, our sick, our disabled, our genuinely homeless, and our genuinely poor. We have them. Trust me, there's a lot of them out there through no fault of their own. Through maybe lack of education when they were children, because they come from a family who have always been in that section of the market. Listen, there is always going to be poor people, and there's always going to be rich people, and there's always going to be a lot of people in the middle. And the thing is that we're Australians, we look after our own. I don't want to look after colleges. I don't want to look after people who use their dole for alcohol and drugs to excess. But I also don't want to be involved with a card that limits people from spending money that they have genuinely qualified for. And, this is what we are. Now, I'm going to go now. I'm really, really mad. And I just want to thank Bronwyn, you are, Lee. Always a good listener. Thanks. But look, we have to do something, and our Lawful Rebellion Patriots roll, Aussie Patriots roll, which is aussiepatriotsroll at proton.com. I'll put it on the tag. You need to join us because we've had quite a few detractors, I should say, and our numbers have now, our registrations have fallen dramatically. I also want to give a big shout out to Vincent Ashley, who's doing Canberra for the People, and to Mike Holt, who is doing his My Will letters. And please, you two guys, fantastic Aussie Patriots. I take my hat off to you. Oh God, I'm going to hiccup. But guys, we all need to work together. I've spoken to Vincent, and Vincent agrees that we need to work together. And Mike and I have had an up and down relationship because we've had a few disagreements over the years. But the thing is, we need to work together. I would like to see those three groups: Canberra for the People, Mike's My Will letters, and our Lawful Rebellion Aussie Patriots roll merge together, or at least work together. So for all of you out there that know these people, I've already spoken to Vincent and he's agreeable. Please speak to Mike, see what you can do. We need to mesh together. It's not a competition, but it can be very, very, very beneficial to all of Australia and all Australians, if we work together, because we've got lots of numbers, thousands and thousands of people, but they're in different areas. They're on different tracks, and really it's the same track, just a different tack. Okay, and if we work together, I reckon we can really, really do something. So Vincent, Ashley, Mike Holt, let's work together. Let's pool our resources and get the numbers that we need to complete the tasks that we're doing. That's all I'm saying. So that's all I got today, Australia. Thank you who have registered with our Lawful Rebellion Aussie Patriots roll, and thank you to everyone who is helping us get those people registered. And all I can say is I love Australia. We're all getting older, and we need people to step up, younger people. And I know there's quite a few out there, and I hope that they will continue to support us and continue to step up and help. Until next time, that's it from me. So please spread the word, speak to Mike Holt, speak to Vincent Ashley. They need your support as well. And thank you very much for sticking by us, because you know what, there's only a few of us left that are really punching above our weight, and we appreciate your help. So advance Australia Fair. Love you all. See ya.